Hey, everybody. How are you? Happy Sunday to you all. Thanks for coming in for my game one watch party. Now, the watch party, I'm really stretching my verbiage with that because I can't have the volume on. If the volume's on, I'll get a strike. Strike three, Vinny's out. Might be a good thing for you. You won't have to see me anymore, but I don't want that. So Lee, when he comes back, is going to have his headphones on and he'll be watching the game. I have the game here and I have subtitles, so I'll be fine. But anyway, I hope you're doing well on this Sunday. I guess the weather's okay in New York because it doesn't say it's raining there. Look, this is going to be interesting. We have a team that has gotten off to a terrible start. They're fighting injury. Soto missed 15 games. Now Lindor's out probably for, I would say, minimum 8 weeks. Look, you rely on strong pitching. Peralta and McLean have given you pretty much what you would have thought. Peralta, maybe not. Peralta hasn't stretched out enough. He's been rock solid for 4 innings, maybe 4 plus, and then just that third time through the order gets Freddie Peralta. But Nolan McLean has been everything that we thought he'd be. Now, they took 2 out of 3 from the Twins, a very disappointing loss Friday evening where nothing seemed to go well. Hey, Mitch. And, tonight we face Quintana, game 1. Now, we should win this game. We have, the definite advantage. It puts a lot of pressure with Lindor's absence now on Juan Soto and Bo Bichette to lead the offense. And Juan Soto certainly swinging a decent bat. And Bichette seems to be getting back. Bichette, if you had to bet on someone to get past an early month stall, it would be Bichette because Bichette is your lifetime 290 hitter in his career. Okay, Bichette is the guy that you figure is going to rebound and be able to catch up with the batting average. Soto as well. Soto's not going to hit 230 or 240. Soto will hit 280. But Bichette would be the guy I'd bet on for the end of the year to have 18 homers, 85 to 90 RBIs, 280 average, 35 to 40 doubles, and do what he does. He's a pretty good contact hitter, although you wouldn't know. I think he has about 25 strikeouts this year so far. But, as he gets hot and the weather gets warmer, so will Bichette. Their average, I think they're averaging about 3.5 runs a game, which isn't going to cut it. It really isn't. And then you have Kodai Senga, who has a 6 ERA in his last 9 starts, and that's supposed to be, he was your ace. And now you just wish you could get 5 decent innings out of him without having to destroy your bullpen. The team has a over 5 ERA in the bullpen, which probably ranks toward the bottom. Soto missing 15 games, much better now than in July or August, probably. But, you're fighting to get out of the basement here. And it's rough. And if you look at the early storylines that we spoke about for spring training, there was a lot that had to go right. Okay, the rotation had to go right. You knew that. Last year, they had one of the top staffs, April and May, and they just imploded. Freddie Peralta was brought in to stabilize things. I think Peralta's been okay. He has about a 3.95 ERA, but it's a very unimpressive because he's been outstanding for 3 or 4 innings and then just cannot get it done. And that's what you need out of an ace, and that's why Freddie Peralta was never really considered an ace. You needed Sean Manaea. I think when we did our pre-season episode, myself and Mike Massa, hi Mike, if you're listening, you needed Manaea and Senga. More so Manaea. I think the jury was out on Senga. I think everyone was split with what Senga would give you. I think to a man in that front office, they thought Manaea would come back from the injury and do pretty well, although he still hasn't had the elbow chips cleared up. He elected not to have the surgery, and that very well could be the loss of 3 or 4 miles an hour on the fastball. Although he was hitting 91, it seems like the fastball is clicking up a bit. And, the tick and fastball there's a big difference throwing 94 and throwing that sweep or throwing 90 or 89. Tremendous difference, that 5 miles an hour. You knew Clay Holmes would develop into probably a more reliable starter, although he was outstanding last year. And you were hoping that David Peterson would give you not even the first half of David Peterson, who was an all-star performer, just somewhere in between. A 4 ERA, 6 innings. That's all you're looking for from David Peterson. But, spring training is one thing, but the regular season's another. And, after the 24 that Senga had, he just really needed to reestablish. And he looked great this spring. He had about a 1.9 ERA over 3 starts. He was hitting 99 on the radar gun. But the rigors of a long year and the psychological undoing of Senga is what really drives you crazy with him. Because when he falters, we've seen this movie before. You blow out the bullpen and you're really taxed for a day or two. But, if you ask yourself who the team MVP would be, I think to a man and woman, you'd say Juan Soto. And he's the guy making all the money. He's one of the 5 best players in baseball. I have him at number 3 or 4. Look, as solid as Francisco Lindor has been, Soto was even better last year. And Soto is the game changer. Lindor's the 5-tool player. Soto is the guy that is the video game performer. He wanted to be better at stealing bases because he decided, I want to be better. So he stole 38 of them last year. It seems like if he decides to want to be a better left fielder, he can do it. Soto is a gamer. He's motivated, I think, to win an MVP. I think Soto was motivated for that. After a while, you would think Ohtani would slip, or they'd just get sick of giving it to Ohtani. Either way. But, no slight on Peralta. I think McClain is the guy that certainly would be a game 1 starter for me. And he has the pedigree to be an ace, I think. Absolutely. He has some of the best pure stuff in baseball. Absolutely. You see the spin rate and all that. He has 5 different pitches. He has a ceiling, if he can harness it, that is outstanding. Much better than Peralta's. And there is a chance that he could blossom into a Cy Young Award winner down the line. He's about 24 or 25 years of age. Now, my prediction was the Mets would battle for the East, win about 89, 90 games. I also said I thought Philly would be sellers come the trade deadline. I told you guys, I thought Philly was an 85 to 90 loss team. I had no faith in Philly this year. I thought Washington's offense would improve. I think Mike and I said that. And I may be totally wrong about the Mets, but I do think the Mets have a run in them to change the narrative of this season. For as bad as the Mets have been, if the Mets went on a 15-5 heater, you wouldn't be talking about this, or you'd be laughing while you were talking about it. And you'd say, wow, remember that? There is so much baseball left. Like I said, I believe at 60 games what your baseball team is. By 80, you're sure. And you know exactly what holes you need to fill. There is no doubt that the Mets were playing with fool's gold with the bullpen here. Brazoban has been a lot better than I think they could have imagined, although Brazoban continues to allow inherited base runners to score. He's terrific in a clean inning. Brooks Raley, for as good as he is, he can't go back-to-back games, and that's a problem. That's a problem because, the team tomorrow is not going to say, let's not put up a righty because Brooks is out of the game for tonight. You can't do it. You have to be available. Dickie Lovelady was shuffled back, and I think he got traded again. But look, there were too many question marks in this bullpen, and Devin Williams has not disappointed Yankee fans. They're very happy he's gone. Weaver, look, I think Weaver can be very serviceable. I don't think Weaver will ever be an elite closer, but I think Weaver could be a very serviceable one. To me, an elite closer is a guy. Now, you can't go by saves because it does. It depends. If your team wins by 5 runs every night, you're going to have 25 saves. There's no save opportunities. A team like the Dodgers, Diaz might not have gotten 40 saves if he was healthy. They had run into a little rut over the last week, but the Dodgers are going to usually have a multiple run lead. But I think that, to me, a premier reliever, closer, is 40 saves and not blowing more than 5 games. Every reliever, even your best relievers, blow 3 to 7 games. A good reliever blows 6 or 7. Serviceable reliever, 8, depending on how many games you get in. But I think that Weaver definitely has the makeup, the tough guy. He has a lot of David Cohn in him. At least that's the way he speaks. And I think that Weaver can definitely mold his way into a very serviceable, if not good, closer choice. I personally think that Nolan McLean would be one of the top 5 closers in baseball if he ever went to the bullpen. I think right now, if Nolan McLean went to the bullpen, he'd be a top 5 closer. But you're not going to lose that arm out of the starting rotation. I think that Senga doesn't have the temperament to be a closer, nor he is too wild. If you go up in the 9th inning, I would just lay off the fork, the ghost fork. If you strike out, just lay off. And, when he's not getting it over, he doesn't make adjustments well. Senga, for all his talent, and he is a very talented pitcher, doesn't adjust well. If an infielder happens to not get a double play or make an error, or an outfielder doesn't catch a foul ball, it stays with Senga 2 innings. Senga can't just brush things off. And it's very unfortunate because he has dynamite stuff. But there was a question about his makeup when the Mets signed him. And that's why the Mets got him on such a team-friendly deal, because the teams were not going to give him that kind of money when he had injury woes continually in Japan. And he had to pitch on 6 days, 5 days. He was not a pitcher that you could really just throw in and say, well, you have to pitch. He's not a guy that you could have a problem and go on a short day's rest. Senga could never do it. And to me, he doesn't fit into David Stern's plan of flexibility. Don't think for a second that Stearns just only feels flexibility is very, very important in the field. The pitching staff as well. He likes plug-and-play guys. He likes a guy like Myers who can give you 3 innings in relief or have to start a game. He likes a guy like Holmes. He likes players that are adaptable. Senga is one of the least adaptable players I've ever seen. He reminds me a lot of there was a quarterback. I forget the quarterback. Cousins, night games, Monday nights, dreadful. On a Sunday, Kirk Cousins is great. As long as you don't take him out of his rhythm, out of his comfort zone, his meal preparation time, his workout time. He was never good if it wasn't a Sunday afternoon. Senga is more so a creature of habit, I think, than any pitcher that I've seen come along in a very, very long time. And the Mets aren't afforded that luxury to be able to wait until Senga pitches great and feels great to pitch great. It's just not worth it. And, I don't think Stearns wanted him. I don't think Stearns wanted to give him away. And that's why he didn't make the trade, because I'm sure they could have got something for him. He just wasn't going to give him away because they knew the upside. And I think David Stearns knew that this guy will haunt you. There are players that if you trade them. I knew that Travis d'Arnaud would go somewhere else and became an all-star. Justin Turner, I didn't know about Justin Turner. I had no feeling either way about him. Became an all-star. There are players that once you trade them, they're going to be great. You just know it. It's just the way it is. It happens. And if they're not going to ever perform for you, what's the difference if they're here or not? They're not going to perform for you. You can't get mad and get all butthurt because they're playing well somewhere else. They weren't going to do it for you. You might as well get a serviceable player. So, we look at this, and the Mets have a very, very long stretch of road in front of them with a tire that is leaking air. They have to be very lucky, not get hit in traffic and bumper to bumper to get to where they have to go. And that's what has to happen here. And look, it certainly can happen. The Mets you got to believe. The Mets are a franchise that, for all the joking around, they have really surprised us many times. They've broken our heart, but they have done the impossible. So if any team could pull off a miracle, it's the Miracle Mets. And would it be a real miracle if they made the playoffs? I wouldn't go that far. I'm not saying it's not going to be a rough stretch for them. It's going to be a very rough stretch. But you can really start the car and gas it up and start your journey today with a doubleheader against a team that you certainly should be able to beat twice. First of all, the odds on the Mets losing both these games, even as bad as the Mets are playing, put it this way: if the Mets lost both these games, the season's over. I mean that. Season's over. Because I think at that point, when your ace can't get it done, like Peralta couldn't co-ace, and then McLean can't, it's just not your year. Sometimes you have to nod your head and say, well, maybe next year. I never would think that way in April. It's too early. But I have to tell you, it really gets very old very fast. And you just try to make some sort of sense out of it. Jeff Kent, absolutely. But Kent was okay with the Mets. He just, he got good at 27 years of age, 28. But, the Mets are a team. Mike Scott, there's a guy that became great. Amos Otis, Justin Turner, Travis d'Arnaud. I'll give you one that you wouldn't even think of, who became terrific. A relief pitcher that the Mets had that became great with San Diego. Remember him? And the guy that Mauricio hit the home run off of to win the game last week. Maybe you could take a look. That pitcher became a great reliever for Seattle. He's lost some off his fastball now, but he was terrific with Seattle. The Mets traded him, and he had a couple of really good years. I forget his name. Who's he pitching for now? Who did Mauricio beat? Was it Minnesota? Minnesota Twins pitching staff. Let's see. I'll find it. I'm trying to remember. The guy from San Diego became a terrific reliever. Heath Bell. It was. Heath Bell was terrific. I guess it wasn't. I'll find it. He became a terrific reliever. Heath Bell was one of them. Let's see if I can find it for you. Let me see. I want to see what this lineup is today. Who was it? It was 3 weeks ago. I'm taking a look now. Who was it? Who was the reliever that the Mets had that they traded? Sewald. Paul Sewald. Paul Sewald was traded and became a terrific reliever for the last 3 or 4 years. Heath Bell with the Padres about 10 years ago. The Mets, have had more players have become stars leaving the Mets going elsewhere than coming to the Mets. And in fact, most of the time when the Mets get a star, he underperforms here. Let's look at all the great players that the Mets have. Mike Piazza. Piazza, no doubt, had a great career with the Mets, almost had as many games with the Mets as the Dodgers, but he was a little better with the Dodgers. Stats are very similar, much higher batting average with the Dodgers, probably by 20 or 25 points. He was a little past the middle of his prime with the Mets. He didn't quite enter his prime. He was leaving his prime after about 2 years. The Dodgers, he hit the prime right away. You have Travis d'Arnaud. Like I said, Heath Bell, Paul Sewald, Amos Otis, Nolan Ryan. But Ryan was okay with the Mets. So many players that the Mets have had. Jeff Kent, that they've sent them away. Justin Turner. And not only have become serviceable players, become all-stars. And when the Mets get all-stars, Bobby Bonilla, Jason Bay, Robbie Alomar, Carlos Baerga. I would never make a set. Cleveland fleeced the Mets twice for second baseman. Baerga, and then a couple of years later, Robbie Alomar. Now, Robbie Alomar, Baerga was finished because I think Baerga was probably 3 or 4 years older than he said he was. Roberto Alomar, I think, finished second in the MVP voting or third, only 6 months before the Mets was starting the new season. So there was no reason to believe. I think Alomar the year before was like 25 homers, 100 RBIs, 300. You can't say that the Mets made a bad move acquiring Roberto Alomar. No one would have believed that. Alomar just seemed to have lost it by then. And see, that's what I don't believe. To me, Roberto Alomar, in a 6-month period when he was about 28 years of age or 29, didn't just lose it. I don't believe that. I want to look at the year he had. But I think he was third in the MVP voting. Lifetime's 260. Oh no, that was Roberto Alomar. Oh, okay. He was 34 when he came to the Mets. Alomar was coming off before he got to the Mets. He was 33. He had a 7.3 WAR. Thank you, Fuquai Johnson. And I'm a big fan of yours now. Thank you. That's very nice and very kind of you. Thank you. Robbie Alomar was coming off a year where it was a 7.3 WAR. That was the best WAR of his career. Okay? He had 34 doubles, 12 triples, 20 homers, 100 RBIs. He hit 336 with a 415 on base percentage. How could you have believed that Alomar 6 months later? Now you could say, okay, 33 to 34, you can lose it very quickly. Look at Keith Hernandez. Most of the time you'll lose it 35 to 30. Well, 34, Simeon, 33 to 35. Olerud was great. Ken Singleton, yeah, Tim Foley became very much better player after he left the Mets, and the Mets got him back. But look at that year Robbie Alomar had. Okay, there is no reason to believe that the Mets were getting damaged goods. He comes to the Mets after that year, and what did he finish? He finished fourth in the MVP voting. Comes to the Mets. And hits 11 homers and 53 RBIs, 16 steals opposed to 30 the year before. Hit 266, the lowest batting average that he had ever had in his rookie season, 88, he hit 266. Now, he was also, though, a veteran of like 13 years by then. He had played a lot of baseball, Robbie Alomar. But Carlos Baerga was another one. Look at Baerga. Baerga was a tremendous player, but I think he was a little older. But now there were some guys at the Mets got. Robbie Cano. And he was having a good year when he went back to the steroids and got caught again. But now look at some of the years of guys that came to the Mets. You don't have to look too far back, 10 years. And Yoenis Cespedes. Cespedes was brilliant. The Mets got Lance Johnson. Lance Johnson has the team record for triples in a season, about 23 triples he had. Had a brilliant season. Mets got Brett Butler. Hit about 330. John Olerud. Batting title. So there were plenty of players the Mets got that were under the radar players that ended up having really good seasons. Rusty Staub, very early on. You have guys like Jim Fregosi, Bob Aspromonte. Mets got Willie Mays when he was 300 years old. But you have just... I'm sure if you look at other teams, you can find similar. You look at the Yankees, Dustin Pedroia, right? Big contract. Sure. Mo Vaughn, yeah. Vaughn, yeah. Didn't he have that big game in a Yankee doubleheader? He had like 3 homers and 10 RBIs in that doubleheader. It was on a Saturday afternoon against the Yankees. I'd love to play stickball. I can't swing the bat yet because of my shoulder. Take another 2-3 months. I had to take off from golf this summer. It's a 6-month injury. But yeah, I definitely would though, Bayonet. So look, the Mets, we have to win today. And it starts at 140. You have to win it. There is no reason that the Mets, this should be a tidy 6-7-1 game. At Reese, really, I played Reese, Foo. I hit the ball up, the wind got it. It ended up in the Bronx, the ball. And I got so windburned. Reese Park, you can get very windburned. And it was windy. I took my son, he was about 10 or 11 years of age. He wanted to play. It was pitch and putt or something. It was a lot of fun, but it was windy. You would think I took a vacation on the sun when I got home. All right. Top one. Strike one, 96 mile an hour fastball outside corner. Lenny Harris. Remember Lenny Harris? Sure. Lenny Harris is the pitch. Strike two, 97. I like when they say on the black. Are you allowed to say on the black anymore? Am I politically correct? Are they going to be at the door? On the black. There's no more black on home plate. They used to have the black trim on home plate. No more. Two nice pitches. Haley. And the pitch. Strike three, called curveball. 83. That was, woo. That was a Burt Blyleven curveball. Yeah, you have to get off to a quick start in this game. Yeah, you put up a 3-spot in the first inning, and you have Colorado saying we'll get him later against Senga. That's what you have to do. So, yeah, there have been so many. I remember Lenny Randall. Around 1977, the Mets got him. I was there at the game. He played third base his first game with the Mets. He went like 3 for 4. See if I can find it. 1 out. Strike. 95. Moniak is up. Mickey Moniak, 14 for 36, 389, 3 homers, 6 RBIs. Ooh, he's dealing. He means business. He means business. Let's see if I could find that. I went with a couple of friends. But I remember he had a big game. It was probably 77. April 30th, 77. He entered the game and replaced John Milner. He had 304 with 33 stolen bases for the Mets that year. Strike three. No. About it. Lenny Randall had a good year. Wow, I didn't realize he had that good a year. Maybe it wasn't the first game. Maybe it was his first game home after they acquired him. He was about 28 years of age. They called him the most interesting man in baseball. But Lenny Randall, serviceable player, came to the Mets in 77. He was a 4-WAR player. 5 homers, 27 RBIs, 33 steals. He got caught stealing 21 times that year. How did he get caught 21 times? He always got caught a lot. His percentage was terrible as a base stealer. But he hit 304. This is a lifetime 257 hitter. He played very well for the Mets. That was a good trade. I remember he couldn't field, though. I remember he was a terrible fielder. 2 out, no on. Here's the pitch curveball. Oh, he's dealing. TJ Rumfeld. Great name. Two and one. All right, fly out. Mets coming to bat. He looks good. I'll tell you, the Mets just they take your insides and you knew. Oh, really? Really? Ira, that's interesting. Lenny Randall. Do you know who I saw once at the racetrack? I was probably 16 or 17. Mickey Rivers. I saw him at Aqueduct. Mickey Rivers loved horse racing, horse betting. But so, yeah, but the Mets, I remember the Mets getting a lot of players. When you're younger, you're excited about it. You know, I remember the Mets' first free agent they signed ever was Tom Grieve. That was third baseman off the Texas Rangers roster. I remember, yeah, everyone else, the Angels are signing Lyman Bostock, Larry Heisel. We're getting Tom Grieve. We never got anybody. Jose Quintana. He pitched well for the Mets, Quintana. I thought they'd pick him up last year. He was certainly available. He knows how to pitch. He pitched well here. Bichette's leading off. Bichette's got his average up probably about 240 now. And the Mets just challenged and won a challenge. Ball one. I like this ABS challenge. It takes a few seconds. It's great. And you see that the umpires miss by a fraction of an inch. It's very hard. But Bichette seems to be getting more comfortable. Very big for us this game. You got to get out to the lead. Yeah, that's the key. Yeah, I know Quintana's been very good, and the Mets generally have a rough time against lefties, but, you know, you should be able to score 3 runs in 6 innings off him. And you wouldn't think McLean will give up 3. But games generally now, it's the bullpen. Steve Henderson banging that, yes. Doug Flynn won the Gold Glove when he came to the Mets. Very good fielding. He won the Gold Glove at second, although he played short the first year. Yeah, Pat Zachary won Rookie of the Year, 15-10 the year before when he came to the Mets. And Dan Norman was a power hitter who never amounted. Steve Henderson was good. Remember when Mike Vail came up? Had a 23-game hitting streak, I think, for the Mets. Ball 4. Leadoff hitter, Bichette. Mendoza will try anything. My phone was ringing. He asked me, but I was in Florida, if I could lead off today. He'll do anything. Here's to you. Thank you for coming in. I really appreciate it. Okay, let's see. Von Soto. Soto's getting a little hitting 317. He was very quiet his first year. Now he's starting to do the Soto shuffle, not quite as much as he used to, but he'll stare out at the pitcher. He's got a great eye. Soto's so good, I can see the umpire saying, I missed it. Was it a ball or a strike? What an eye. He's got an eye like Olerud. Olerud had a great eye, if you remember. Did you ever hear the funny story about John Olerud? Some people say it wasn't true. Some people say it was, but it was so embarrassing that Olerud recanted. John Olerud was with the Mets, wore a helmet because he had a brain aneurysm in college and he had to have an operation. So he wore a helmet in the field. Well, Ricky Henderson played with him with the Mets. Ricky Henderson went to Seattle and Olerud went to Seattle. And he said in the locker room, "Oh, God, that's funny, that helmet. When I was playing for the Mets a year or two ago, we had a guy, he goes, Ricky, that was me." I don't know if that was true. Some people say it was, and he got embarrassed, so they said it wasn't true. I could see it. Ricky Henderson was one of the stupidest people I ever met. Oh, that was a good pitch. Strike 3, outside corner. Yeah, Ricky Henderson came in to shout one night. Ricky Henderson had told my friend at Shout, that was a good pitch, that all the meal money, they used to get like $105 meal money back in the 70s. He saved all the meal money, and that's what put his kids through college. He never spent the meal money. But what a boy. He had a great year with the Mets, Ricky Henderson, remember? He had a good year with the Mets. I remember watching when he stole the third base for the all-time record, and he picked third base up. He was with Oakland, I think, still. I was watching it. It was in the 80s. Ricky Henderson was great. He was a hybrid, You know who was also great that used to haunt the Mets? I remember, I do stutter. Tony Peets is right. When I was dating this girl, and she wanted to be a counselor, like a coordinator at Surprise Lake Day Camp. You had to go away. Neil Diamond went there. Pete Seeger lived right over there. So I went for the summer. I made believe I was Jewish. And I had to get interviewed. I said, my mother, I bought a cheap Jewish star, put it on my neck when I interviewed. Serious. And I remember FAN had just started. 4th of July weekend is when WFAN started the channel, 1987. And Tim Raines, the Mets played a doubleheader against Montreal, and Raines went off on them and destroyed them. Tim Raines, good player. We've done good, though, with trades from Montreal. Gary Carter. Oh, that was a ball. Wow, that's 2 inches off. That's different. Usually it's, and it's barely within 7 seconds. The decision comes down. You're not really taking up much of the game. 3-1. Ball 4. First and second. Let's go. This is what you need, a 3-run jack right now. See, this is where you miss a bopper in the lineup. It must be cold there. Gary Cohen looks like he has skis on. Ronnie Darling, always dressed nice. Remember Ronnie Darling in that movie with Stiller and Gwyneth Paltrow? Oh, it's going to drop. Oh, it dropped in. Base is loaded. Who hit that? Mark Vientos. A blue pit that was 11 miles an hour off the bat, and Vientos is there like this. Come on. Like in 90 games on the first place. You blew the ball into center field off a pitcher that's 100 years old, and you're flexing your muscles. I don't know how the center fielder didn't get to this. Center fielder was playing deep. I guess you have to for Vientos. Good base running. That was good base running. 2 weeks ago, he would have been forced off third. Is that Robert at first, at second? Yeah. All right, look. Take the hit. And see, now you have to get a hit here. And, I'm greedy. I don't want to sacrifice fly. No, I don't want to sacrifice fly. Get a hit. The hit and sacrifice fly, it's a difference of 1-2 runs a game. Is this Simeon? Good pitch. Simeon's starting to hit a little. Let's go, Marcus. One and one. Good take. It's interesting when you see these players when they're off cold streaks, like there are pitches that he would have swung at 2-3 weeks ago that you take when you're going well. You're just picking the ball up much better when you're going well. And you go through that. Just missed it. 1-2. See, these are the at-bats that playoff teams get a run in and non-playoff teams strike out or pop out, don't get the run in. Bases loaded. You can't leave the bases loaded. Well, he's hanging tough. Quintana's thrown 21 pitches already in the first inning. Does he have any challenges with Rocky batters? Chopped the ball foul down at third base. He's hanging in tough. Well, Quintana throws 89 miles an hour. See, Quintana, his speed on his fastball is like Mania. Mania has much better stuff than Quintana. I think Quintana is a smarter pitcher than Mania. Quintana's been running on fumes for 3 years and gets guys out. He was good with the White Sox. Oh, that was a good pitch. See that take, if you're watching the game, if he's not going well, you swing right over that. That was a great take. When Mendoza took this job, Cohen, as the owner, he must have felt, oh, man, look at the tit job I have here. Foul tip. Does anybody know how that was scored the other day when the batter hit the ball out of the batter's box? Is that a put out by the catcher when it hit him? Struck him out. It's the same thing all the time with this team. High outside fast. Had him set up beautiful. The Mets are straining a lot of run. Well, this you got to get the run in. This is what kills you. And this is what you'll go back if something goes wrong today. Remember the first inning, the Mets had the bases loaded. They had Quintana on the ropes, and they strike out. Brett Beatty, he's been heating up, and he hits lefties okay lately. It's just incredible. So how are all you doing today? That's not good. My English professor's rolling over in his – well, he's not rolling over. He came off the mantle. He got cremated. How you guys doing today? Sunday. I'm flying home tonight. I have like a 7:45 flight or something. I get in about 10:15 p.m. Two and one. Come on, Beatty. Speeds. 3 and 1. Did you hear there's a Wisconsin bar owner place that free beer if Trump actually got assassinated. I don't understand why no one has accosted this guy in the parking lot. You got to meet him in the parking lot and say, now repeat to me, what do you want? Come on. That's a strike. He's going to challenge it, and it's strike 3. And again, they don't score. It's a strike. Oh, well, yeah, it is. Strikeout. And the Mets leave the bases loaded again and cursing already. This is ridiculous. Totally ridiculous. Hey, BK, how are you, man? My boy, Mikey. How are you? It's good to see you. We have to get together this week if you're free. I'm teaching Wednesday, but if you're free, yeah, definitely let's do lunch or something. It's good to see you. This Met team, bases loaded, first inning. Oh, yeah, definitely, BK. So everything's good with you? I'm glad you're doing well. It looks like you guys had a good time in Jersey. I wish I could have made it. I was hemmed in school for the new semester, the winter catalog, or the summer catalog's coming out, and I'm teaching 2 other classes. So I had to get my room and all this stuff, and it was going out to the printers, so it had to be all set, the time schedule, when I would be teaching them and everything. I was trying to teach 3 classes in one day on a Wednesday, so I didn't have to just go for an hour and a half and make the trip. I'll be teaching 3 classes now. I'm teaching singing, which is a karaoke class. I'm teaching the decade of the 60s. And I'm teaching mathematics, algebra and geometry for people that want to learn it. I'm strong in math, so that shouldn't be too bad. Oh, I'm sure it was great. Yeah, I really wanted to make it. I would have been shocked. I didn't know you know everybody. It's like if I was on Mars, you know BK Skip? You know everybody. Yeah, math. Yeah, that was my major. Math and sciences is what I majored in. Organic chem. I was very strong in the math and sciences. So what did I do with it? I got a fucking YouTube show. Yeah, geometry, calculus, I was good at statistics. I enjoyed it. I just enjoyed it. Even biology now, the endoplasmic reticulum, the mitochondria, I still know the cell and all that. Here's a strike 101. You do know a lot of people on here. Did you hit your millionth mile driving around yet? I used to like when you were driving. I thought that was really cool when you did that. Yeah, we know each other 5 years now, Skip. It goes fast, right? We started out when I was screaming on my channel. Remember the 4 guys screaming at the top of their lungs for 3 hours a night? Things have calmed down since then. I hope your daughter's well. $89,000 miles on a 2021 vehicle. Yeah, but you got the vehicle in 2024. I know you put a lot of miles on the car. Well, that's your job. I used to Skip used to do stuff. It seems like yesterday we all met. Yeah, Skip. I remember I wanted him to do an Allstate commercial. Mikey's driving. One knee is holding his bottle of water. One of these holding the wheel. He's doing this. He's an amazing driver. He can teach you how to drive with no hands. He's amazing. But yeah, it was yesterday. Seems like yesterday. God, it goes really fast. Really does go fast. And things change. I've seen how the channels have changed since. Like all the channels have changed. Automatic. Oh, that's what it was. He stepped on the plate, Mitch. I wonder how you score that. This show is brought to you by Allstate. Who needs hands? Who needs feet? Just buy the car. Ooh, wow. What does he have? 8 strikeouts in 2 innings? The guy's unbelievable. He looks good. He really looks like an ace. He really does. Closest fielder unassisted. Really, Mike? Wow. That's interesting. Thank you. Yeah, so this Met team can drive you crazy. I remember going to some games. I was at a couple of big games. I was at the Todd Pratt home run game. Was that 99? Center field. In fact, I was sitting, I don't know, in the 400 level. Well, it was Shea Stadium back then. I don't remember what I was in the, like the Loge or something. And it looked like Finley caught the ball. I think it was Finley. It looked like he caught the ball. I have season tickets. I haven't gone to one game yet. Actually, they play, maybe I will go tomorrow night. I even forgot to sell my seats. I would have had, you know why I didn't put them up? Because I would have had to pay them for them to take the seats. But let's see what my tickets are. I have Tuesday night Nationals at METS. Wednesday night, I can't do it Wednesday. I have a party. I got to teach. Thursday National at METS. I have that game, 1:00. Oh, that's a good one. And then next Tuesday, the Tigers. I have no weekends. I have during the week, all the week games up until, I don't think I have Friday nights. Friday, Saturday, and Sundays I don't have. But I haven't gone to one game yet. I will go this week just to show my face. Thursday will be nice. I'll go to the Thursday game. 1:00. Maybe I could drag Ira with me. You want to go to the game at 1:00, Ira? So, can the Mets get what? No, I agree. Something's up. Bayonet. This is terrible. Tyrone Taylor. I never realized what a good fielder Tyrone Taylor was. I know he was a 20-plus home run bat with Minnesota that one year when they got him. I knew he had some power, but I didn't realize he's a tremendous fielder. To me, you have Gold Glove fielders, then you have guys that are just a sea hair away. Taylor is that player. What are you swinging at? Christ. Taylor's a terrific. You know who I think will win a Gold Glove in his tenure with the Mets? Bench. Whoa, that's gone. Nope. I think I better get the first eye test. I thought that was gone, that ball. And then you'll hear, well, if it was August, it would still be caught. Yeah, Mike, absolutely. I can get the tickets. I'll call my rep. Definitely pick a game. I'll let you know what day the days I'm teaching. Pick a game. I'll get the tickets for us. I'll call my rep and tell them taking my adopted nephew and his daughter. I'll get decent seats. She likes baseball? She's a Met fan or nothing yet? Because why would you want to put her through that? Oh, tough Sunfield. You know, I was thinking about when the Marlins was celebrating. Remember, they were all posing in front of when they knocked the Mets out last year at Citi Field. You know, that's their World Series. They have a $50 million payroll, and they're beating the big club, and the Mets always get beat by Miami. But that's their World Series. But you see, you know what you have to do in spring training? The first time you see one of the guys, ball right at his head. I would get suspended. I would get suspended. I could never. If I was in the police department, before roll call, I'd be in jail before the guy that they just brought in the overnight. I have no patience. You don't smile. Even Ronnie Darling went crazy when McLean, who was he's a rookie, when Buxton, he came in and he went, my bad, my bad. Why is it your bad? Did he go like this, my bad to you when you hit the home run and beat you? I didn't notice. Did Buxton go like this, sorry? Mets are too soft. Baseball's woke. Even baseball's woke. You hurt his feelings. Tough shit. Yeah. Oh, really? Softball this spring. Oh, good for her. Let me guess how old she is now. 13, Mike? I'm guessing. Good for her. Yeah, the Mets just so 12. Okay. I thought around that because I remember when I met you, she was like 7. And everything okay? I know that, well, we'll talk when I see you. But, you know, this Met team, I remember so many games. I went to the Todd Pratt game. I don't know if it was John Candelaria's first game or his first time pitching against the Mets. It was around 76 or 77, whatever it was. I went and I saw Candelaria, and of course he beat the Mets. You're right, BJ. Oh, I'm glad, Mike. Yeah, BJ, you're going to talk to Soto? Makes $1 million a minute. I wonder if Soto had a big fight with Mendoza, and he said, I just want him gone. I wonder what would happen. It's not quite like basketball. You know, with LeBron James, he pretty much hired his own, you know, he lobbied to get, you know, the coach that he wanted and stuff. But yeah, so the Todd Pratt game, Candelaria, Lenny Randall, which I told you. What else? When the Mets clinched, I remember Dave Magadan started at first base. They said that Keith Hernandez had a migraine. No, he didn't. Keith Hernandez was in shout the night before till 3 a.m. He had a hangover. That's what he had. I was there. I was working. Toronto Raptors are up 38-36 at the half to the Cavaliers. Both teams are shooting about between 28 and 33%. I think disgusting. So top three. McLean has 4 strikeouts. And he's thrown, I think, 28 pitches, which is good. McLean has kept his pitch count down up until like the 5th inning. And then the 3rd time through the order, he's been having a tough time. He's going to have to learn how to, that's rookie players go through that. You have to learn how to navigate through that. You have to change your whole pitching repertoire around the 3rd time through the order. He's got a 2.5 ERA so far this year. Ezekiel Tovar is up. He's hitting 216. That ball really moves. That sweep is unreal. It says 52 degrees, no precipitation. Oh, as Bob Murray, strikeout number 5. He looks good, man. So yeah, so I've been at some decent games. Dave Magan and I ran on the field. I jumped on the field like an idiot with my friend. Really, bayonet. That's cool. I've had that. I've had my name on the stadium. It's a great feeling, isn't it? You feel like a star just for a little bit. Yeah, I have it somewhere. I forget what year it was. But yeah, I've been to a lot of games. I've been to a lot of playoff games. I didn't go to any World Series games or anything. That year, I got my next season for free because I sold a lot of tickets from the playoffs. They went 3 rounds, a couple of years ago. I like Citi Field. The food is good. Now all they have to do is win. There'll be a game that he strikes out 15 or 16. His stuff is that good. Oh, of course, bayonet. That's I'm sure every friend he knew, people he didn't know found out. That's such a wonderful thing. That was very nice. Very nice. Yeah, the screenshot's nice. Yeah, I had one about 8 years ago. It's a nice feeling. But yeah, Shea Stadium. I remember Shea Stadium was a dump. I remember being on the Grand Central Parkway when they imploded it and it was rubble. And I looked, I said, Shea Stadium never looked so good. Remember when they were putting up Citi Field? Remember they have like 2 fields there. But Shea had a lot of memories. It was very windy. Remember? Wind tunnel. Were they really bayonet? Here's a hit. Yeah, I could see that. I used to, I have season tickets. You can use the Delta Club and the Caesars, whatever. I forget which one it is, but the entrance to the Met box is there. And I saw Jeff Wilpon a few times walking through, and I just said, "Hey, Jeff." He goes, "Hi." I didn't have any conversation with him, but it seemed pleasant enough. But Citi Field, it's an experience for the kids. Citi Field. They have great food. This is unbelievable. Mets should be up in this game. Oh, just misery all the time. What's his pitch count now? He's probably thrown about 33 pitches. 42 pitches? Wow, I lost track while I was talking to you. So you see, he's not even out of this inning yet. So his pitch count went from great the first 2 innings. This might be a 20 pitch inning, 25 pitch inning. Oh, got him. What a move. Picked off at first base. And he's looking over like, you're going to watch the replay? You're out by 9 feet. I'm closer to the first base bag than you were. And I'm here. Unreal. Yeah, so baseball is different when you're younger. I remember, I think I told you guys, my mother used to buy tickets at Manufacturers Hanover. I'd take a ride, or walk with her to the bank. And they had these little schedules in a holder. And got loads or whatever. And it was a lot of fun. I remember when I was younger, I'd take the bus. But the bus stopped like at 5 different places. It was a 3-hour bus ride from Brooklyn. It stopped in Starrett City. It stopped everywhere. But it was fun going with friends. Because it was affordable. Even if you got on a train. But from Brooklyn, where I was, you had to go into Manhattan, then get the 7 train. So, it was a long ride when I was a teen until we started. When I was in high school, it was different. When I was in high school, me and 3 friends used to love to bet horses. Aqueduct Racetrack was from my school about 15-minute ride on by car, 20 outside, 20. It was about $10 car service. So we all chipped in. And senior year, you always have a great schedule senior year. So I think I was out, my last class was like 11:40 in the morning or something. And we used to go. It was a lot of fun. Then we'd come home. And then we started driving. And then we did our thing. On Friday nights, we used to go up to Yonkers Racetrack. Yonkers Raceway. You see the theme here of gambling? Went to Yonkers Raceway, 5 or 6 of us in a car. And they used to have the dirt road where the parking lot was. And I'll never forget, my friend asks, Carmine, who's going to win the double? I don't know how he told him, but he came back and ran and told us. And the double hit. So I'm online. One of the races, like in the middle of the card, and I see this guy, and he's talking about, someone was saying, the race was fixed. So I said, yeah, they could be. Carmine gave us the double. And that horse ran in the second race. He won. He paid like $20. He goes, kid, that was my horse. He shows me his credentials. He goes, bet my horse in the next race. I said, what, next? He goes, not this race coming up, because I was online to bet. The next race, let's say it was the 9th race. Adam Lobel, $52 to win. I'm 17 or 18 years of age. I bet $20 win and place on him. And I had money for the whole sum. I remember that. I think I cashed out about $800 or something. Now imagine $800 in 1978. That's probably like $4,000 now. Really, go look. It's about $4,000 now. Imagine that in my greedy little hands at 17. Now, I probably lost a lot of it back because, like I said, we went to the track all the time. But I remember that summer being a great summer. I remember I was the man, going out with a girl. You want another Sunday? I had a ton of money. It was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun as a teenager. Racetrack. We used to go to the beach, go to Brighton Beach. There was an OTB there. And we'd go at like 11 in the morning before we got to the beach. And we'd make a bunch of bets for the day. And WCBS used to have the stretch call during the sports, like 12 after and 22 before every hour. And we'd go in the water. What time is it? What time is it? What time? And we'd run in and we'd time it so we could listen to the stretch call. And then after the beach, we'd go to OTB and hopefully collect, some of our tickets. We used to have fun. And we used to meet a lot of guys in Brooklyn that did the same thing. It wasn't only us being degenerates. Selling football tickets in high school. I sold football tickets in high school. I had a nice little business. I sold about $200 worth as a 16-year-old. $200 worth as a 16-year-old. I think I was getting, I thought I was getting like maybe 25% or 50%. But, I'm making, again, 60 or $70 is like 400 now. So you're 16 years old. You have the equivalent of $400 now. It's like having 400. Well, now if you went to Starbucks, you spent 200. But I had it. I always had an urn. I always did. Me and my friends, that was something coming from Bensonhurst. Always had a little a cash urn. Used to have fun. I remember going to the Ranger games with my friend from the Little People of America Association, Scott Seidman. He got me into the opening of Mantle's restaurant. He got me into Kindness Corner. He opened a lot of doors. And we'd go to the Ranger game with an old blue stub and $5. And we'd fold it up and hand it to the ticket guy, and you go like that and give it the stub back. I saw Gretzky's first game at the Garden. Yeah, BJ, things were affordable then. I remember spending all my money and had to ask someone for train fare. I was like 17 for the way home. I remember that. And Sal Red Light Messina and Marv Albert used to announce, and their booth was right like in the middle of the crowd, in the middle, so you could actually lean over and talk to them. And I remember asking Marv Albert, "You think the Rangers could win?" He goes, "I don't think they have enough." He was honest. The Mets make every marginal pitcher look like a star. It's incredible. Unreal. Yeah, BJ, things were affordable back then. Now I feel bad for kids now. You can't afford anything now. Yeah. And the 3-0-0. So what do you think? I don't think it looks good here. This does not look promising. This offense is so inept. Okay, top four. 1-1. Julian is up. So we will see what happens here. He has such good stuff, McLean. The Mets are wasting him. This reminds me of watching DeGrom again. Jacob DeGrom, remember? Poor guy. Jacob DeGrom should have 900 wins in his career. He's still pitching well. He's pitching great. Eduardo Julian. They can get hits off McLean, but we can't get hits off Quintana. It's unbelievable. Just so sickening. How the hell? You're right, Ira. Did you see about the brewery in Wisconsin that was going to give out free beer if Trump got killed? And when he dies, the day he dies, God, do I wish me and my friends from Brooklyn lived right near this guy. I guarantee you this guy would never say that again if we lived over there. That guy would be held over a parkway from his ankles. It was a good pitch he hit. 2-0. Another hit. Look at this. This is terrible. The Mets should be so embarrassed. Really so embarrassed. It's just so sickening already. You watch a Colorado team against McLean, square up, good at bats, drive the ball where it's pitched, and the Mets just do nothing. If I were the Mets, if they lose this doubleheader, I would fire Mendoza tomorrow and hire Joey Cora, who just got let go by Boston. BJ, you know, it's interesting you mentioned Willie Randolph. I remember you mentioned it yesterday or the day before. You know, I have a friend. His kid went to school with my kid. His name's Rich, the guy. And Willie Randolph is either his kid's godfather or Rich is one of Willie's kids' godparent. I don't know which one it is. But Rich was friendly with an umpire, and an umpire gave him a lifetime card that he can get into any stadium in America. You know, umpires get that when they retire. They get an ID where any stadium, they'll find you a spot to sit and you get in. And he got that for his 50th birthday. when Rich turned 50, this umpire gave it to him. Amazing. His Joe, what's his name? Scala. Dom Scala is his brother-in-law. Scala, I think, he was a bullpen coach for the Yankees at one time. Dom Scala. It was either Hofstra or Adelphi. He was Scala coach or something. Bases loaded, no out. This is sickening. This is just unbelievable. This is terrible. I don't know how Mendoza still, I know it's not his fault. He's not up here pitching or anything, but I don't understand how he's still the manager. I just don't get it. He's got to watch now because Cora, Boston loved Cora. Adelphi, okay. Yeah, Dom Scala was a nice guy. His kids went to Our Lady of Hope. He should have had that ball, that replay they're showing now the other night. This is disgusting. One extra base hit, and this game's over because the Mets aren't scoring 3 runs. I just don't understand how this team could be that bad. Oh, really, Mike? Yeah, Scala's a nice guy. I don't think he was actually the bullpen coach, the Yankee bullpen coach. He was in the bullpen, like catching or something. Yeah, he has a baseball school, Dom Scala. A baseball camp he has. There it is. Unbelievable. Met pitchers just lose it in the 4th and 5th inning. They lose it. This is a disaster. And these balls are getting hit hard too. He's getting hit hard. I can see it right now. He's got a bit of a weakness against lefties, McLean. Oh, really, Ira? Yeah, he's a nice guy. Yeah, his brother-in-law is Rich Capitelli. Yeah, I taught his kid when I was a substitute at Our Lady of Hope. Yeah, BJ, this is disgusting. This is just so disgusting. It's disheartening. Oh, what a pitch. Coaching means a lot. My son, Vinny, didn't throw hard, but he's a lefty. And Alan Watson was helping out the Christ the King. He was like the pitching coach. My son played for Christ the King. And Alan moved them on the rubber, and he picked up like 3 miles an hour on his fastball. 3-2. This is unbelievable. Oh, what a pitch. That's tremendous, that first out. If you can get out of this inning with 1, Mets probably will win. Yeah, I didn't know. When I was with Lafayette, our manager was Joe Gambuza. We had Gil Firstman originally, and he was sick. Gambuza took over. But yeah, Scala was a nice guy. I didn't talk to him all that much, but I because I was friendly with Rich, and they were family. Thinking about it, that must be how Rich knows Willie Randolph, because of his brother-in-law Don. This Willie Randolph must have been with the Yankees when Scala was in the bullpen. Jeez. Wow. I tell you, Met fans now, and I'm one of them, it's just so sickening. It's disheartening. It leaves you with a pit in your stomach. And he's facing a lefty. Oh, that was a good pitch. Yeah, Ira, I would think that's where he met him. I thought Rich must be a Yankee fan. I thought he was a Met fan, Rich. I guess he's a Yankee fan. Rich is a good drummer. Look at that. Woo! Double play. Wow. That was tremendous. And there you see a bad team, Colorado. That's a big one, Mike. So let's see other games. That Pratt game was really big. Yeah, I'm on a delay here. I know. There are a lot of. I've been to so many baseball games. I probably went to Shea Stadium. I can't even count. I used to beg my mother. My father didn't like baseball. I used to have a good time. I used to like it. And I had this friend, Jeff. I was about 9 or 10. Jeff was in his 20s. And the next day he'd tell me, like, guess who hit a home run? I remember once it was Tom Seaver. They played San Francisco. In San Francisco, Seaver hit a home run. I used to love it. I was such a baseball enthusiast. Like when I was 17 or 18, I mean it. The Mets were terrible, and they had Lee Mazzilli, and I think Willie Montanez played first. And I'd wait until like 10 o'clock to go out with my friends because I wanted to watch the Met game. The Mets were 20 games out of first place. I wanted to watch them. I was just such a Met fan. DeGrom had some stuff. He struck out 9 straight Rockies, 2021. What a pitcher. My God. He didn't even want to stay in New York. Imagine if he saw it now the way it is. Citi Field. Boy, this is big if the Mets can come back and win this game. And there's a big difference when you're down 1-0 and down 3-0. Yeah, Mazzilli was good. He's a good athlete, Mazzilli. Hit 300 for the Mets. Well, he was their matinee idol. You know, they had nobody. Sounding like Mitch. Oh, I know, with all the dates and everything. Rain Man. I could see Mitch being wheeled in before surgery and his blood pressure's 135/69. 135. Yeah. Maz. Lincoln High School. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. When you're younger and you go to baseball games, it's just a different feel. Totally different feel. When you're older, it's like, you know, you have other things to do. When you're younger, You go from the baseball game to playing outside baseball. Here you go to Home Depot. Totally different vibe. This is unbelievable. How could this team just be so terrible? Unreal. Sounding like Mitch. Well, Lindor, I tell you, he's never talking to Soto. Look at that. All they do is reach. They can't get one good at bat against this son of. Unbelievable. Mason Miller, 34 innings scoreless streak. Murakami hits home run 5 straight games to the White Sox. God, would I? Oh, Alex Cora, not Joey Cora. Alex Cora. I wish the Mets had him. Isn't it amazing that the Mets, again, a guy that hasn't pitched well this year, they're making him look like a world beater. This is unbelievable. You would think the hitting coach would get fired. If you had to fire someone, I think the hitting coach is more important than Mendoza. They are just terrible. Oh, I'm not sure, BJ. There's no female players. No, Ira, I agree with you. If you're white in America now, they might as well like Soylent Green or whatever. They might as well just kill you now. You're worth nothing. If you're a middle class white man, you are worth nothing unless you're gay. If you're gay, you're a hero or a criminal. Guy that works hard, you're nothing. You're shit to everybody. Jesus Christ. This is disgusting. This is unbelievable. I'll be right back. Woo! I'm back. This is interesting. Lee is here, but Lee just came up with something very interesting. Lee, what do you think the problem is?
I think that this team was thrown together while throwing out another relatively decent team from last year, and this team has no cohesiveness.
The culture?
I don't think that. The culture. They don't meld with each other. They're either too new working with each other, or they don't care.
Right, they don't know each other.
The stories we're reading about Soto and Luis Robert. Soto's on the IL. He didn't even want to show up for games when he was just sitting out.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
It's ridiculous. There's no team spirit. But maybe you could bring that back to Stearns, right?
You're right, though. When you're friends, you want to come hang out. You want to come hang out with your friends.
Right.
When you're friends, yeah.
There's no Met team yet. There's no Met team yet. That's all I say.
Well, most of them don't know each other.
Right.
This roster was turned upside down more than any roster I remember in a Major League Baseball team, where there were like 10 or 11 new. Well, look, you had a new first baseman, second baseman, shortstop there. The whole infield was different. You had 2 different outfielders. 6 regulars were gone. This is terrible.
And they're aware of that mentality. I think the front office. I think Cohen makes pronouncements about there'll be no team captain. Does anybody want to be a team captain?
You think that was wrong, him saying that?
Because he didn't feel it with them either. There's kind of, you have a foundation to your team that you don't throw everything out to try and win a ball. You have to have some franchise players. You have to leave them on, even Alonso, okay? Somebody, Nimmo, anybody, even Jeff McNeil, just somebody. He's a contact.
Yeah.
Just somebody that, could be around. But it's not, I don't see the Mets. I see a bunch of guys wearing a blue uniform.
What do you think the answer is?
At this point, it's only time, it's just putting them together.
I wish the Mets would, Alex Cora would be amazing for the Mets. He's a good coach. Look, for years they were talking about Alex Cora, the Boston Red Sox manager. How would you like him as the Met manager? And you know what's interesting? His whole staff got fired. Wouldn't it be interesting if he said, look, I want to bring my staff with me?
I think that would be perfectly appropriate.
Me too.
Why not?
Me
Look
too.
what they've done to the team anyway. Bring him in.
Great. Even Jason Varitek got demoted, and he was
And
loved.
they might be new to the Mets, but they're not going to be
Right.
to Cora.
Yeah.
See what happens. Good night, dude.
Got a good arm, Mauricio. He has a very good point. They all intend to changing the core of the team, and it's hard to create one overnight. Right, Mike? Lee, my friend Mike said, yeah, you have a great point. Yeah, you can't create a culture in 5 minutes. You know what it reminds me of, Mike, and you'll understand this. Remember when we all first started YouTube and everybody was everybody's best friend, and they didn't even know what they looked like because of the memes and couldn't even spell their last name and probably didn't even know their last name. Oh, love you, man. Love you, man. Love you, man. Can you imagine? Now, some of us got to know each other, like you and I and Joey, and got to know each other. But others still, they dismantled the team, got rid of, well, McNeil, and I think he's doing okay with Oakland.
Everybody's doing better.
Yeah, right.
Even Nimmo looks great.
Nemo's doing very well. It's scary. It's scary how inept this team is. Really is very scary. You dismantle a team just hoping that you'll catch lightning in a bottle. And usually, it's not that easy. Let's see, Brendan Nemo. He's having a great year. Nemo's hitting .284, 4 homers, 12 RBIs. Not a great year, but he 835 OPS. He's doing well, Brendan Nemo. He's played 27 games. He's playing every game. I don't know what his defensive WAR is, though. I wonder how he's playing defensively. Let's see how he's doing defensively. He's playing right field. Yeah, you're right, Ivy. You can. "16 of 28 games, they've scored 26 games, they've scored 4 runs or fewer." That's unbelievable. This team they're a very, you know what it is? They're a very boring team to watch. There's no excitement. Hey, William, how are you? Oh, that's gone, isn't it? Home run. Taylor.
Left time.
There you go. That's a big one. That's what she said. Yeah, William, I don't think, well, look, I think the players aren't doing well. It's not so much, I just think that they tried to change the culture too fast.
I got thoughts on that.
What? What's your thought?
Think about this, if you're a hockey fan, right? What the Rangers did, their let it to thing, right? They were already falling apart, and all of a sudden, they made major changes on the team, major changes, right? But these major changes actually led to some wins. And you're getting some folks out there. The only guy left standing was Mika Zibanejad, right?
He had a good year.
And Fox maybe, right? But they started to accumulate some wins. And everybody's saying they're not going to get their draft picks. But what they did is last year that just ended, there was a kind of a cohesiveness. They got this upbeat
They played well.
They had a sense of team. And this is at the end of the season. They didn't have to go through a season and go through massive losses.
No.
And what happens now? They have their training coming up when they start to go back to training.
September.
Yeah, but think about it. They've got the beginnings of a team,
Yeah.
right?
I think
And we
so.
know them now, right? So
Yeah, right. We do Laba and yeah.
in this case with the Rangers, they picked it up. They threw the baby out with the bathwater at the back end of a losing season, right?
Yeah,
Here,
that's true. You know what the problem with this Met team also is that a few players on this team that you may get used to, they might not be here. Bichette might be gone.
Yeah.
Freddie Peralta might be gone.
we went to free agents.
Yeah. So you'll get used to some players here now and they'll be gone too.
Well, Cohen is not known for wise decision. He throws a lot of money at stuff and he tries to pick up,
He really does.
what do you call it? The high ceiling players in the hopes last year
Yeah.
didn't work out.
Uh-huh. Who's number 13? Oh, Terens is up. All they do is roll that ball to shortstop, Wolf Quintana. God, it was such a thrill. I remember going to, remember when they used to give away the baseballs at Shea Stadium?
Sure.
Ball day? But you couldn't play with that ball. It came apart. It wasn't a real
It
ball.
was a junkie ball, right?
Yeah, it came apart. We tried to play with it. It came apart. And they had bat day, remember? Imagine having bats in the stadium now.
Those were real bats.
Yeah. Remember they gave out those little bats? They look like clubs.
Yeah.
All right. 1-1.
You're right about Citi Field. It's a nice, cozy.
City Field's a night.
Field,
It's
yeah.
you know what City Field's like? I don't know if you've ever gone to PNC in
No,
Philly.
no.
It was the same designer. The same designer has designed a lot of these new stadiums. It's this one company that they use, and they all look the same. That's a nice stadium, PNC, where the Phillies play.
Well, city is smaller and it's got a lot of amenities to it.
Yeah.
It's pretty, right? Shea Stadium was gigantic. And there, you know, just a lot of concrete. But I loved it, but you know, different from City Field.
This must be a sign. I just got a new viewer, Peach Ass. That's cool. Just when I need someone named Peach Ass. You know, I saw a picture of a dog. They needed rescue. Look at this. How terrible is that? My God. Terrible. Yeah, so Ira, maybe what did I say? Thursday afternoon? That would be good to go to the Met game. Maybe the weather will be a little better. He's throwing 95 miles an hour now. He was 98 in the first. So we're in the sixth. 1-1. He's thrown 78 pitches. So this will be his last inning. They're not going to let him go more than 95.
Yeah.
Oh, William, that's terrible. I showed it to you guys. I probably shouldn't have even brought you down, but it's terrible. It's terrible. That's a wonderful thing, rescuing animals. It's wonderful. I lost my dog about 3-4 months ago, Colby, 17. I'm still heartbroken, William. And it's just so hard. And I'm almost ready to get another dog. I know Colby would want us to show another dog a good life, a good home, and all that. And I have the name already. His name's going to be Koopa. And it's probably be a multi-poo. Oh, shit. Lead off double. .58 in rain. Damn it. Thanks, Bayonet. Boy, was hit hard.
That's the other.
You're right, William.
You get this negative vibe watching the Mets because they, you know, deep down that they're not going to be stringing wins together. You hope they will, but you really can't put your finger on what the freaking problem is.
Yeah, you really can't.
And then when you do have a success, somebody goes out on the IL. Francisco Lindor hits a home run and then hurts himself. Bye-bye for the next, whatever weeks. That's demoralizing.
That's terrible. 1 and 2. It's just so, it's deflating. Yeah, William, third time around, it's been McLean. It's been Peralta's problem too. I don't know if it's early in the season. They just have to really get a little more geared up. but something's got to give. You just got to push through it. You try to do too much after a while, Ira. You know you're not going to get any help. That's the problem. Very discouraging. And you don't know what the answer. What do you do? Fire everybody? First of all, I think Mendoza should be fired. But I'm not so sure if they fire Mendoza, if this team will get a lift. I don't even know anymore. Maybe not. Who knows? Look at all the stress he's got to pitch under. They're never leading. It's just really stressful. All these stressful pitches. Brazaban. Raska. Come on, get this guy out.
That's what they were waiting for.
First and second, no out.
Waiting for Brazaban to get into middle relief. They didn't
Unreal.
do another Peterson thing or
Terrible.
Sean Manaea. No.
5 innings, 5 hits, a run, 7 strikeouts. See, on a really good team, you'd be up 5-1 right now. Unbelievable. So, yeah, like I was saying, when you're younger, wiffle ball, stick ball, you just couldn't wait. Like you were really upset when you were younger if it was going to rain out. You really were upset. And any glimmer of hope, if it stopped raining and the grass was wet, and if it was at all feasible, you'd try to go out and play ball. You'd even shovel, or you'd get some brooms and try to get the water off the field because they didn't do anything in the parks. You got to do it yourself. But it was just unbelievable. And I lived for baseball. When I was younger, wiffle ball.
Didn't they recall Austin Warren from Syracuse?
No, they sent them down. I don't know if they recalled him. Right after that game.
Yeah.
This is unbelievable. He threw the ball away.
This is Little League Baseball.
What, did he hit the runner in the back? This is just, it's so tough to watch this team. And Brazaban has given up so many inherited runners. So you bring him in now. I'm getting sick of looking at Mendoza too. I know it sounds ridiculous, but he's got to go. He's just got to go. Someone's got to pay.
Oh boy,
this is terrible.
He's handed him quite a mess.
Unbelievable. Well, Christopher Walken, this commercial. Walken's great.
We got him muted here because we don't want to break any laws.
Yeah, if I have the volume on, I'll get in trouble here.
But
Spacey does it great. Imagine Christopher Walken doing a porn. I'm inside you.
Well, he's talking to the guy at the bar now. Give up on these Mets. They're no good.
I know, William. This is terrible. This is absolutely disgusting. It's so disgusting now. They constantly tortured. Unreal. You know what was fun? When I was younger, I remember the blackout. I lived in an apartment complex and Shorehaven. And during the blackout, we all had flashlights and all that. And we played Manhunt. And we went through and we had these walkie-talkies from Radio Shack, Realistic. And there was this one guy we used to play with. We called him Fats. He said, "I'm so good in hide and seek, you never find me." I said, "That's because we never look for you." We say, 99, 100. We go to the movies. Well, we used to go in throughout the garages, and it was so much fun. People were sleeping on their fire escapes during the blackout in Brooklyn. It was unreal. Double play, run in. See, I still feel like this game's over and it's only 2-1 because you're not getting any runs. That was a big out. But yeah, Manhunt was great. I remember the snowstorms. I remember the summer of Son of Sam. Stacy Moskowitz was murdered. It was about 6 blocks from my house. Robert Valente. I remember the police tape and all that right next to the Belt Parkway where I lived, and it was terrible. Really terrible. That was a rough summer, man. 77. City was going bankrupt. Son of Sam, the blackouts, all the rioting with the blackouts. I don't get it. It's 98 degrees and we don't have electricity. What's the solution? Let's go rob TVs. Ridiculous. People will use any excuse to go mad. Okay, you got out of it with a run. That was big. People will use any excuse to go mad. Riot, break windows, steal iPhones. William, I'm telling you, this guy has to be fired. Now, I think it would be a little embarrassing to fire him. Lee, could you make me a coffee?
Sure.
Thank you. It would be fire hydrants ruled in the summer, yeah. I had a friend who worked for Con Ed. This is like 10, 15 years ago. And he used more than that. He used to give me the key. I'd go down to the meter and turn it upside down. Turned it upside down for about 13 days during the summer. And then you have to make sure before they come reading, you turn it back the right way. Yeah, but the fire hydrants, water, remember? You'd be flashing cars with it and everything. It's a lot of fun. The summers are different when you're a kid. See, now I don't even think it's different. It can never be the same. If I was 8 or 9 or 12 or 14 now, it wouldn't be the same. Definitely wouldn't be the same. It's not the same thing. Back then we had this big boom box, which wasn't a boom box with speakers. It had one big speaker in the middle. Panasonic. It was like $110. I remember. And I knew every song on the radio. It was a lot of fun. At night, we'd play manhunt. We'd hang out outside. Oh, the sprinklers. Okay. I was never into the fire hydrants. I think I did it. But I remember when I was about 7 or 8, the King Kong ride. Remember the King Kong ride that went like this? I think it was 25 cents to get on it. They gave you gum when you got off. I remember that. The whip. The ice cream man would come. You know, it was really like you read about.
What was that ride where the thing would swing back?
King Kong.
Oh, that was that.
Yeah.
Person.
Boy, would I want Cora as a manager. I'd take him.
If the Mets lost today's game, Cora isn't long for this team. Yeah.
Mendoza's got, but they look.
What are they going to do? They're going to stick in the same malaise. They have to turn something upside down at this point.
I would hire Cora. Well, that's that. I really do believe if the Mets fire Mendoza, they'll go with Cora. You don't let a guy like Cora get away. He's pretty young. Look at that catch. Jesus. You could even see Soto like looking back now. It's just everybody's disgusted. Cora would be terrific. Now, I don't know if he could bring all his staff with him. I don't know if they'd let that. I would think he could bring his bench coach because the bench coach works well with him. I'm glad to get Quintana out of this game. You're getting 2 hit from Quintana.
Let's see what he.
Quintana's a year fucking older than Jesus. Unbelievable. God, give me strength. Fuck the money. So I'm coming back to New York. I'll be back in New York in about 8 hours.
We're going to be there by 10:30. Wish I was going with you.
I know. I will do my recap of the second game at 11 p.m., about 11:30 tonight, people. I know you're just waiting. When's he doing it? About 11:15 tonight. I'll be doing the wrap up for the second game. I'll be on the plane. No, when's the second game? 4 o'clock, 4:30?
Tell you in a minute.
Probably almost over by the time I'm getting on the plane. Maybe from the airport, I'll do it.
I'm going to tell you right now. It is going off at 5:10 p.m. Really? Okay. So they're pretty close together.
What's close?
5:10 p.m. The second game is going on.
Oh, really?
Five and a third innings, 1 run on 2 hits, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, 85 pitches. That's not bad. McClellan did not do a bad job here. But
Yeah, McLean did well.
I'm talking about Quintana.
Oh, Quintana? Yeah, Quintana's been very good.
About McLean.
McLean's ERA is 2.55 for the season.
1 run on 5 hits, almost identical, 5 innings pitched, although 7 strikeouts.
He has 45 strikeouts in 35 innings, McLean.
That's 2 for his ERA.
He's very well. Juan Mejia. It's amazing. The Mets make every pitcher look like a star. It's so frustrating. Oh, he's right on that. But I've had a great time here.
Yeah, I'm glad you came. We had a great time at the track, man.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was good.
Ira, what do you think of this quartet? It rivals the fucking Beatles. Me, you, Al, and Ira at Tampa Bay. Al downloaded all the stuff for me yesterday. We don't have it here. I think I threw it out, but we sat there. You would think we were surgeons going over someone's heart surgery yesterday.
It paid off.
It did pay off.
How many exactas do you hit in a day? I mean,
Yeah, Lee hit a bunch of exactas. McLean, yeah, McLean is. Yeah, pop up. They're going to win, take that thing. It's going to fall, though. Yeah, so coming back to New York. Yeah, so Ira, we're going to come out here and we're going to have a track weekend. Al's looking to do it. It'll be a lot of fun. We're high rollers. It costs $50. We get a table outside. We're right near the finish line. We have our own waitress.
Yeah, we got a buffet thing.
Yeah, buffet.
That's really nice.
We go in style. Let's see Vientos make up for that. Well, it wasn't, that wasn't a terrible play. You could hit the runner in the back. That's a hard throw for an inexperienced. He's supposed to move out of, he's not supposed to field straight on. He's supposed to get an angle to throw to second. He didn't do that. Yes, Ira, we're looking forward to that. The room is painted.
Yeah, sorry about the smell.
Yeah, the smell is, I smell it in here now. Yeah, they finished the room. And even that, like in Florida, like we went off the play and, well, Lee knows the guy that painted the room, so he trusted him in here. But did a nice job. Oh, Cora would be great. But yeah, me, you, Al, and Lee. Oh, the table will look like we're like the Last Supper. We'll have so many. You had to see the papers we had.
Drink, by the way, the bar is an inch from our shoulder.
Yeah, the bar is right there. But we had all. I had the Churchill Downs. I had the Tampa Bay. Lee had his copy. Put it this way: one was like 28 pages. One was 58 pages. 3 trees are down because of us this weekend.
Plus, we're doing our own stuff too, right?
Yeah. Plus, we were handicapping ourselves. Lee handicapped a good race. Caught a good exacta, $20. He had a $20 exacta box, $10 box. He did well. I did really well the first day. Didn't do great yesterday. But it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. And it was 85 degrees there. It was beautiful. The people are so nice at Tampa.
That thing that seems to be a thing now where the ladies dress like it's Easter.
Oh, yeah. And the girls, young girls and young ladies, they all dress like Churchill Downs. They're all in these bonnets and all this stuff. Yeah. It's beautiful. They all look wonderful. They're all smiles.
Yeah, they look beautiful, but the guys didn't change at all. They were wearing like tube socks.
Yeah, right. The guys tube socks.
Potato sacks.
Yeah. But it was a lot of fun. Until Lee went over to this young girl with a bonnet and she was smiling. He goes, "You know what I'd like in you? Me." Got him, as Bob Murray. I want Vientos gone too. I'm sick of looking at him. Do you know how happy I'd be if they announced that Mendoza was fired and well, they wouldn't announce Cora.
I think it's an inevitability.
I think so now.
This is just technically this is the beginning of the season. I mean, you can't go through this for the entire season.
No. This is gut wrenching. Oh, is that coffee ready? Thank you. I'm gonna flash you. So yeah, so any other stories from back when I was a kid, which was like in the 1800s? Yeah, playing wiffle ball was amazing. I loved wiffle ball. We played stickball, but not as much. Wiffle ball. I liked wiffle ball a lot. Because wiffle ball, you weren't breaking any windows. We lived in an apartment complex. We weren't going to the park. We did. We played baseball at the park. Remember baseball when you didn't have your glove and you happened to be walking by and the second baseman would leave the glove on the field for you and you could use his? Now they wouldn't let you do it. Now you couldn't use a bat. An aluminum bat's $300 now. You're going to let someone use your aluminum bat? You'd be afraid to bring your stuff to the park because if it got stolen, you'd be screwed. When I was 9, I don't know what my father was thinking. My father bought me a kangaroo glove. First of all, it was an outfielder's glove. It was like this, Mitch, and it was unbelievable. Kangaroo leather. And it was like $120 back then in 1970. And I lost it. My father got it at Wolf's Sporting Goods on Sunrise Highway. I remember. And it got stolen. I didn't lose it. It got stolen. And then he got me another one. But wow, did I love that glove. It was so big, though. Like if I was here, I could stretch out and get something in the kitchen, which is 40 feet away. Thank you, Lee. Gendarme. 7 Minutes in Heaven. Bayonet. Yeah, I did that too. I remember, bouncing in the 80s. I remember these two girls were roommates. And they kept on showing me brochures. Where do you think we should go, Ben? Where do you think we should go, Ben? What do you think it is? The Virgin Islands. So what are they going to call it when you get back? So the thing was, and now, the fuck out of here already. This team. I just can't take it anymore. I really can't take it anymore. Cora will be interested. So the girls said, would you want a three-way? Three-way? I can't make one girl happy. I'm going to disappoint two girls? You fucking crazy. In the 80s, everything went. But yeah, I remember 7 Minutes in Heaven in the 70s. Yeah, you go in the closet. Different meaning now coming out of the closet. But back then, well, even then you didn't want to come out of the closet. You wanted to stay in there with them. And back then, every week you had a new girl you liked, right? Every week it was someone different. I told you guys a story. There was this girl, Carol, really cute girl. She was 14. I was about 16. And no, she was like 13. I was 15. And I really liked her. She had a boyfriend. Nothing ever happened. And I was heartbroken. Not that she ever said no, really, just nothing ever happened. Then I saw her about 3 years later. I had moved away, hadn't seen her. Toys R Us, she's working. And she goes, oh, we got to get together. Give me your number. I said, this is how easy it was? Fucking tormented for 4 years. Now I don't want you. Just the torture she put me through. Oh, Ira. That's a good one. I don't think I played college. I went right to the game Caligula. Oh, the 80s were amazing. The 80s were amazing. And I was a bouncer at a hot club. And girls, you don't have to be good looking, obviously. And girls like you. And I had a ball. It was a lot of fun. The 80s were like the roaring 20s for us. Yeah, BJ. My son's, he was born in 95, so I didn't have to experience that with him. Was that a strike? He just challenged it. I missed. Damn it. Call overturned. I'm getting very angry now being a Met fan. Like, I want guys to get thrown at their heads. It's terrible. I'm really getting, bitter and angry now. Like, he smiled. Throw at him. It's getting bad now. No, the plane has Wi-Fi, William. I watch TV on it. I watch movies all the time. It'll almost be over though. I'm not getting on the plane till 7:30. Game will almost be over.
We won't leave here until late.
But the Mets need to. Yeah, something is very, very wrong here. I'm out of order. You're out of order. Remember that? Something's very, very wrong here. Yeah, the Mets need, yeah. Right now, I'd be fueling up Cohen's jet saying, we'll be there in 45. Bring your coaches, your sleeping bag. Because you just have to now, you have to make a change for change's sake now. It's unfortunate that Mendoza, listen, I'm sure Mendoza's a nice guy. You know what? If I need fucking brain surgery, I don't care if you're a nice guy. That's a good pitch. Brazaban's been good this year. He really has been. But, you know, this is just too much now. First of all, there's going to be nobody in the stands. There's going to be 10,000 people a night there on a summer night. Cohen's going to lose a fortune. Cohen's been losing money every year, and they were okay, except for last year. He'll lose, a fortune here. He won't lose. The guy really, I'll tell you something. I'd rather have Cora than Beltran. Beltran has no experience. Cora has won with Boston. He's dealt with personalities. I'd like Cora. I think Cora would be terrific. And he's a name. He's a recognizable name. I know, Ira, but sometimes you need, listen, Ira, this is true. When I was doing the karaoke stuff, 13 years ago, I had a show. There is someone that used to come in that bar. My show was just better. Wasn't about flirting. Just this person brought an energy. You know the person. Brought an energy. And I was on my game. Unreal. Ooh, that could be close. Nope. Every inherited runner he lets in. Brazaban, every time there's runners on, he lets them in. This is terrible. This is so disgusting now. You know what? If I'm players, and you can't even, a guy got thrown out for saying fuck Mendoza. He got thrown out of the stadium the other night. You just got to bring in posters now. Fire Mendoza. This is ridiculous. My God, what a disaster. What a disaster. I can't even speak. This is really terrible. This garbage team. This is what you got to go through. Here, everybody.
And I understand that you are a huge Met fan since you were a little kid, and that you are retiring as a corporal in the Morris County Sheriff's Department in New Jersey. So John, Veronica, and the kids made this video.
Keith sent me something for Christmas.
When's he coming back?
Keith should be back soon. But
I think, as per Ivor's question, I think Steve Cohen is thinking, what did I get myself into?
yeah, this is disgusting. Be nice if they come back with this win. But this is just now they're losing their challenges to the Mets. Jeez, they can't get a break. Unreal. Runner at third now? Oh, they got him.
Excellent.
I thought there was a runner at third. I had that wrong there.
McCarthy's the center fielder who picked up, was it Vientos, who didn't heed the stop sign?
Yeah. That was a great throw. He's a terrific catcher. So, yeah, when you're young, it's all you care about, running outside. You don't need sleep. You don't need anything. You don't need food. Something's got to give here. Really is terrible. And you're right. Our managers don't hit. They don't do any of that stuff. But it's just the feeling in the clubhouse of excitement. You know, sometimes you just have an exciting look about something, and I think that's what the Mets need. I don't think the Mets come and they just expect disaster, doom and gloom. That's the problem. Something to really excite the fans. You got look, the fan. They're going to lose the fans. The fans aren't going to come.
Look what happened with the Jets. People are giving up their season tickets.
Here's my Christmas message from Keith.
Hey, Vinny, how are you? Merry Christmas. It's Christmas morning, so it's cold down here in Florida. It's like 47 degrees, which is cold here. A big cold front came through. But anyway, I understand you're a big Met fan and you enjoy the broadcasts. So I'm just wishing you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We have a lot to look forward to.
We have a lot to look forward to. No, we don't, Keith. I don't know what team you're watching. Another hit. No. Wow. You know what's interesting? 3-1 feels like 7-1. It really does. 2-1, you think you have a shot. 3-1, the Mets are putting two hitters back to back. This is terrible. You know, William, that's a good point. I think it'll be more of a relief for Mendoza than anyone. I think he'll just say, it happened already. Now I can go on with my life, because I think he just worries about it. I agree with you. That's a good point. I remember there was we had a big game. We were young, Little League, and I was pitching. Now, I wasn't a great pitcher, but everyone wants to pitch. Again, overturned 3-1 now. Even those are going against the Mets now. They don't win a challenge now. Everything's going wrong. And I was pitching. I had no curveball or anything. I was probably 15. Maybe I threw 65, 67. I don't know. I got good when I got to high school. Then I started throwing the ball 88, 90, played shortstop. But I knew how to throw a good off-speed pitch. But I didn't have great arm action. I just was able to get it over the plate and do that. And I was playing for PAL, Police Athletic League. And my friend, the team we played against was my dear friend. And he was up, of course, to win the game. And we've played wiffle ball 4 straight years, stickball. I know exactly how he hits. He knows exactly. I didn't pitch a lot, so I had a big advantage. And I said, well, I could either come at him, and he was a good hitter, but we didn't play a lot of hardball together, so I didn't know. I saw him stickball and wiffle ball and stuff. And I go 3-2 on him. The bases are loaded. We win if I get an out. I said, I'm going to throw this changeup. And I threw the changeup, didn't get it over the plate, but he swung and ended up on his ass because he was so far in front of it trying to cheat for the fastball that the ball got away from the catcher. And the manager argued for a lifetime with the umpire about it's supposed to score and it's not. And and he always teased me about that, my friend Rob. He always said, why did you throw that? You thought I'd hit your fastball, right? And I said, yeah, kind of. You're good. That's interesting. When you're young, people, the kids will admit you're good and they won't say, I'm better than you. They don't do that. They really don't. Baseball is one of the few sports. I used to play hockey and baseball. I played ice hockey when I was 10 years old, New Hyde Park. My mother used to get me at 5:30 in the morning. The young kids had to play like at 7 in the morning. And you always said, oh, no, you're good. Your teammates, you built them up. Even if they weren't great, you built them up. You always made them feel that they were part of the team because they were your friends. That's what it was all about. That's what it was all about. You just wanted to play ball. You didn't care about anything else. You went outside in the morning, or 10 in the morning, and you came back maybe for lunch. If your friend was with you, which he usually was, your mother would make him lunch too, or if you went back to his house. And then, you'd relax, and at night, you're not going to play under the lights in an apartment building, but then you play manhunt and stuff. And we just had a ball being kids. It was so much fun.
It is the man of the hour.
I didn't throw the fastball, honestly, because I'd love to throw that changeup. I had a great changeup. The only difference is if you knew how to hit, if it was an 18-year-old opposed to a 15-year-old, and you would see the arm action, you'd stay back on it. I would do this and then like that. So it wasn't the fluid motion. But the changeup would always go. This one was, I don't remember if it was low and outside, but it got away from the catcher. But then again, 15 years old, if I went like this, it can get away from the catcher. We played on 16th Avenue. We played in the park. Across the street is where Stacy Moskowitz.
Is that Sheepshead Bay?
No, Bath Beach. Bath Beach.
Bath Beach. Right off the belt, off the belt.
Yeah, 16th Avenue. And a year later is when Stacy Moskowitz was murdered. The summer later. This was the summer when I was, I was probably 15, 1976. And that was the place. And then just, we got older. Then instead of manhunt, you were on the hunt for something else when you were 17. Mets are going to lose this game. This is so sad. So sad. You realize this team lost 120 games last year, Colorado. Now, true, I don't even, they're going to lose 98, 97. They're not good. But the Mets stink.
Well, there is salvage. Think about the Oakland A's, right? 2 years ago.
Oh, that's gone. No? God, I better get my eyes checked.
They turned it around.
Which one?
What did they do? What did Oakland do?
Oakland, yeah. Oh, they've gotten all those young draft choices for years. Mets have lost 13 of 15. My God. Washington Nationals, no player over the age of 28 has taken an at-bat. That's incredible. Really scary. I can't believe how bad this team is. Look at this swinging. Terrible. So terrible. You know what? You even wonder now if I don't know what the answer is. Fire Stern. You're not going to fire Stearns in the middle of the season. You just don't know what to do. He struck out again. Terrible. You know, you look at this, it looks like they don't have a clue. And that was outside. Oh, did they challenge it? They're out of challenges, the Mets.
Right.
Unbelievable. Nothing's going right again. You see, just nothing's going right for them. You know, it's not even bad play now. It's just nothing's going right. It's just not their year. Really isn't their year. Nothing they do goes right.
There you go.
What?
Austin Warren.
Oh.
I thought they brought him up.
What can you do?
What do you think? Who's going to relief pitch for the Mets?
Beatty is terrible. This whole team is just a shit show. There's nothing you can do. Nothing you can do. Yeah, Wright was great, huh?
They used to bandy him about in terms of manager.
What?
You talking about David Wright?
Yeah, Wright was great. David Wright was a terrific player. He would have been a Hall of Famer. Can't do anything. This team was just so disheartening. Yeah, BJ, injuries killed him. He's a great player. Yeah, there's nothing you can do. Yeah. Oh, Mattingly was a great player. Mattingly was the best player in baseball for 5 years. I remember in '85 when he hit home runs in like 8 straight games. This would be such a big win for the Mets if they were able to come back. But something has to be done. Something really has to be done here. You don't even know what the answer is. That's the problem. You have no idea what to do. Probably nothing. There's probably nothing you could do at this point. So Austin Warren looks like Sandy Koufax. How the hell does Colorado come in and just like, I get it. He's got okay stuff, Austin Warren. It's a good pitch. The Yancey, my friend, is blowing in the wind. David Wright. I remember David Wright coming back after like being out a year. And he was activated, and he comes back. And here is his comeback from the disabled list.
Well, David Wright preparing for what has got to be a little nervous moment for him. His first at bat since April the 14th. He hits one to deep left field. That is gone. David Wright brings himself back into the lineup.
It was backwards. You couldn't see it. I'll show it to you this way.
David Wright preparing for what has got to be a little nervous moment for him. His first at bat since
you're seeing it backwards.
April the 14th.
But he had a shot upper deck. 2015. Which one, BJ? The answer, my friend, is blowing. Yeah, you would think the Mets. I thought for sure when the Mets won the 2 in a row, I thought they were going to really start playing better. They had every opportunity the other night. Just nothing 3 weeks. Oh, really, Bayonet? I didn't know that. Oh, David Wright was great. Turned himself into a really good Third baseman, too. Yeah, he was okay when he came up. He wasn't great when he came up. He became a much better player. Yeah, that back, William, oh, it was so bad. They said what he had to do to just to play, he had to stretch out 2 hours, 3 hours in the training room before a game. It was just a lot of work for him. They're making these relievers look like all-stars, the Mets. Stenosis is rough. Yeah, it's a narrowing of the canal where the nerves go. And when it inflames, it's very rough. You have to stretch. This is unreal. This is so disheartening. Just watching this, sitting here, watching this is so disgusting. How could you be this bad? Really? How could you be this bad? You can't score off of Colorado. So who do you put up to pinch hit? Francisco Alvarez is 0 for 28 in his career with 12 strikeouts as a pinch hitter. You just need a runner on, so you put him up. Maybe they have no one left. Terrible, terrible, terrible. There's really nothing you can do. But this Mendoza should not be the manager of this team. What are they waiting for? Now, interestingly enough, Larry, I was just going to say that. You read my mind. I have to tell you, I think you have to fire Mendoza if they get swept today. I can't see how I can't see it. You almost hope they get swept so he gets fired. But I would think you have to fire him, Larry. Great question. I was just going to ask you guys. I would think you have to. This is terrible. Yeah, it's a base hit. Look, there's going to be a mutiny. There's going to be a problem. Fans are going to get thrown out of the stands for booing Mendoza every time. It's going to be terrible. This is going to be a summer. First of all, the thing is, there's no guarantee if you fire him that you will do better. That's the problem. That's what I think it is. But look, if you're firing a really good manager, then I'd say maybe you're right. But Mendoza's an average manager at best. He's not even a great manager. I can see if it was a guy that was an icon, that had been with your team for years. That's not the case here. I agree, William, but this is unacceptable. This play is just putrid. And you see how they're trying to do too much? You see that swing by Bichette? This is terrible. They're last in OPS. $370 million payroll. And if Soto had played without the DL, they'd probably be next to last. Base it. Told you, Bichette's going to Bichette's going to hit 280 by the end of the year. He's too good a player. Wow. Talk about a changing moment. If the Mets hit a 3-run homer here and won this game, that's a defining moment in your season. They'd be really juiced up for game 2. And it's a second, I think it's a different admission, right? So you might have some people come. Yeah, this is unreal. I agree. PJ, you're absolutely right. Juan Soto. This is what you make your big money for. This is the game right here. This is the whole game. Because even though you'll have 3, 4, and 5, 4, 5, and 6, those players, there's no power in that. This is it here. Place will go nuts. I'll be doing the moonwalk across the couch if he hits a home run. Come on, Juan. I remember playing wiffle ball one day when it was really windy. I hit the ball so hard and high up in the air, I thought it was a home run. It came back and hit me in the head. I used to be able to do the moonwalk, Ira. I could probably do it a little. Try to show you. Oh, damn it. That fooled him because he wasn't even trying to hit a home run there. He was taking, and then, so it wasn't a power swing. Just, that was a good pitch. Come on. Luis Roberts on deck. Ball 4. I'm starting to wonder why we got Luis Robert also. Yep. Remember the old Met pitching coach, Rube Walker? You guys are too young for that. This is it. The whole game right here. Remember Bob Murphy? A balk! Remember? A balk! Right, remember?
That'll wake you up.
Yes, William.
Tim McCarvey used to get such a kick out of Bob Murphy because he would make a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
He also mispronounced names, you know.
Who, Ralph Kiner or Bob Murphy?
Rough hand. Sorry, my mistake.
Taking two pitches right over the plate. You have to go up aggressive. Met challenge. And they lost another challenge. Joe Pignatano. Eddie Yost. Remember? Eddie Yost around the third. Remember? Ground ball base hit. Mets win. The Mets win. I miss Bob Murphy. And the Mets have lost 12 straight. Imagine him announcing this. Howie Rose hasn't said put it in the books in a year. Come on. Don't tell me he popped out. Jesus Christ. Oh, I can see why. I can see why they didn't want Robert in Chicago.
That now.
Smiling out at the pitcher. Yeah, and the happy recap.
All right, Mark. This is your time.
Remember Lindsey Nelson? Hello again, everybody. And how to paint the word picture for you, Bob Murphy. Thank you, Lindsey Nelson. A beautiful day at Shea. Remember Bob Murphy when he used to announce like an all-star game? And he'd say, this wonderful Hall of Famer. Bob Murphy was great. Oh, my God. Vientos. Oh, Jesus. As a, eat it, yeah. Oh, my God. This is what you got to depend on. Mark Vientos. You got to go up hacking. First pitch, you don't take it, hit it. If Stearns had balls, which we know he doesn't. Hey, Wesley, I would certainly fire Mendoza between game 1 and 2. You want to shake up the team? Fire Mendoza after game 1. That's what you do. I know it's not right. It could be perceived as embarrassing. But what are you going to do? I will tell you this much. I don't know how Stearns keeps his job if this team continues to play. How do you let him keep his job? Stearns destroyed this team. I would too, Ira. I would certainly fire him after this game. At least maybe you could salvage the second game. Struck him out. No, the fans have had it now.
Wow.
I've had it sitting here. It's like enough is enough now. You got to just fire him. You know, people have to really destroy. On Twitter, they have to destroy Cohen. You have to say, stop telling us how much you love the Mets. You don't love the Mets. You see what's going on here, and you don't give a shit. They're terrible. I would too, Ira. I'd Kai Correa, I would. Let him manage the second game. And I would actually, what I would do is I would ask Mendoza, do you want to step down? So we don't have to fire you? Let him step down. Because look, I think Mendoza is a class act, but you'd say, look, you want to step down, you could step down. That's good, William. I like that. Let's immortalize him on here. No help coming. Have to make your own help. If you want a helping hand, look at the end of your arm. That's what I tell Mitch all the time, my friend Mitch. I say, Mitch, people could say anything they want. Bottom line is you. You're the one that calls the show. Well, you know what? And I don't even think it's money, Ira. I think they look in the mirror. I don't. They're constructed very, very poorly, this team. You have guys out of position. It's what it is. But and they keep on showing Mendoza in the dug. I'm telling you, I know it's weird. I think he's going to get fired either before the game or tomorrow. I think you have to now. Now you have to. You can't keep him around now. Tomorrow's an off day? Tomorrow they're playing. Oh, tomorrow is an off day. Yeah, I would think he'd get married. He'd get fired tomorrow, probably, William. William, if he doesn't get fired tomorrow, then you're stuck with him for another 2 months. Because if you don't get fired off a sweep of Colorado, when are you going to get fired? You have to remember, well, kids definitely are softer now, Ira. What you have to do is you have to get a hold of Cora. You know, it takes a little time to get guys, they got to sign contracts. You know, the insurance company wants to give them a physical. You got to get them in for physical. This is more than any other time. I think if they get swept, he'll get fired tomorrow because you just can't let it happen. Because then you're just throwing away the season. You're not even giving yourself a chance to come back. You know, you gave him the grace of coming home off a disastrous road trip, and you didn't fire him on the off day. You gave him games against Minnesota and Colorado. And if he couldn't get it done at home, then you know what? It's going to be brutal for him here. What a play. Wow. He's going to continually get mauled here. Mendoza at home. He doesn't deserve that. He became a decent third baseman, baby. But this is just, this is terrible. You're like an expansion team. Now, you lost with your best pitcher on the mound. You lost with your best pitcher on the mound a couple of days ago. And you got Senga. That's why he hasn't used the bullpen. William, I don't even know. I might go with an opener tomorrow. You're off tomorrow. I probably would go with an opener. I would have gone on. I would have, I don't know. Might have had Tobias Myers start. Yeah, it's like what they say about the Beatles, right? Right? Yeah, Bay City Rollers were just like the Beatles. The only difference is the Beatles had talent and they didn't. Yeah, little kid eating ice cream. That's dropping. Warren looks good. He does. Hate that stupid mustache. Larry, you're probably right. No manager probably will. I think a manager would help a little. I just don't think this team, I think individually they got some good players, but they don't mesh. They just don't mesh. And there will be, listen to WFAN and all the new, there will be a disaster tomorrow. in New York sports if he doesn't get fired, Mendoza. Hey, Joe. Yeah. Joe, this is terrible. If I have to tell you, if Cohen had balls, he'd fire Stearns and Mendoza. I would tell Stearns, you want to, step down if you don't want to be embarrassed. And I'd offer Mendoza to step down. And Mendoza will get another job in the organization. They like Mendoza. They'll find another job for him in the organization. He won't just be let go because they're going to make him work for his pay. You put him in scouting. You do something with him. He's a young man, pretty young man. But I think he has to get fired, doesn't he? How could he possibly keep his job?
Yes, but
I don't see it. I just don't see it. Terrible. Yeah, Will, the attendance, you're going to have 10 people there, 10,000 people there on a July night. And the worst part about it is not only will you lose the attendance, but you're going to lose the respect of the fans. They're all going to be screaming they hate Cohen. I never thought it could get worse than the Wilpons. Do you know what? I'd sign on the line to get the Wilpons back in here now. Absolutely. Bringing in, and Cora would take the job tomorrow. There's no way he wouldn't take the job. You bring in Cora. He'll probably bring in his bench coach or something. And you know what? You go to war 130 games. And you see if you can go, 130 games. If you happen to go 75-25. Right? You end up winning 86 games for the season or 87 games, and you hope that it's enough. Think about that. You have to go 20 games over 500 just to have a shot. Now, this guy has a 7.59 ERA. He has a 2.5 whip. He lets 2+ base runners on every inning. Let's see what they do against him. Just embarrassing. So embarrassing. Oh, that was close. Oh boy, is this a disaster? Oh, did he get hit? You need a brawl. You need something to wake. Oh, okay. What happened there? You need a brawl. You need something to wake this team up. None of them would. No, Bobby Valentine would have gone. Gil Hodges would have gone crazy. Gil Hodges would have turned over a table. You know, I think as a statement, I'd probably bench half these guys in the second game. Next, you'll see they'll bring up Ewing from the minor leagues. They'll bring up Clifford.
That's a good question.
I would bring up Clifford and Vientos would sit on the bench. What's the difference? Clifford's not going to hit any worse than Vientos is hitting. You got to bring up some rookies. This is the time to bring them up now if you think the season's lost. And you know what? You think the season's lost if you're not replacing Mendoza. If you're not replacing him, the season's lost because you're just giving up. It's looking more and more like he wanted that goddamn casino going. This is terrible. Look at this. This is so disgusting.
Have we seen Melendez at all during this game?
No. So tonight I will be on with the recap around 11:15 or 11:30 from my house. Too tough from the airport. But this way you guys can come in. So it'll either be 11 or 11:30, something like that. We could talk. We could vent. Hopefully we'll be able to say, well, we shouldn't have split, but we split. Let's wait for this last out. Just close it. 880, all right. This is disgusting. God. Larry, this is the most disheartening. And I've been a Met fan a very long time, but this is just ineptitude, and you refuse to fire the manager. Thank you, William. I'll be on tonight about 11:30. Could be midnight, but if you guys are up, come in. We'll talk. We'll talk about some stuff. Because I'm thinking, it'll take me an hour to get settled at home. But I'd love to see you guys. And there it is.
Sure.
And that's it. Everyone, I will see you later. God bless you guys. I'll see you tonight.